I'm moving this over to another account. It's called Rock Me Amadeus. I'm not going to do any of the videos on this account anymore because I've got other things related to it, and I don't want to. It has nothing to do with my name being here. I have a feeling that there's probably enough databases out there that describes what I do, and it's not important. So the reason why is because I have this account on way too many devices, and I need to narrow it down to my important devices, and my non-important, the ones that I do my videos on, um, should use a different account. And the other thing is that I want to advertise my website more than I want to advertise my YouTube channel. I don't give a shit about my YouTube channel. I care more about Rock Me Amadeus, my website, because I want people to experience entertainment without advertisements. And I want people to be able to not be advertised to, because I fucking don't believe in advertisements. I hate advertisements. I hate the idea of advertisements. I hate the idea that people think that we need advertisements. You know, and I think in this day of COVID, when there are going to be so many businesses that are going to fail, they need to realize that what's going to reinforce what a better way of doing business is not to do businesses across the globe, but to do them locally. To Because over time we're probably going to become a less mobile society, and we're going to be more just little communes here and there that are growing food for ourselves and having some form of energy coming in from somewhere, and people are just not going to be driving that much. If they're going to be driving anything, it's going to be an electric vehicle. See, we need to cut down on the amount of transportation we do, and become a planet of just tons and tons of communities. But and if why should you need to go anywhere whenever all the people you care about are at home? And so why should you? I mean, if you need to do work elsewhere, why would you need to be any more than a farmer? Or maybe you need to. I mean, the reason why we have everybody going into cities, I guess, is to. But that also, you see, the problem is that if you're in a city, then you're going to be more likely the target of terrorism. So it's better that you not be in a city. See what I'm saying? The advantage of cities is that you get access to better health care and things like that. That's true. But you're also going to be the target of a lot of bad stuff too. And so, anyhow, I think what's going to happen as a result of COVID and things like this, because they're communicable diseases, is that people are going to spread out more, because we got plenty of land on this planet, and we need to stop. We need to stop digging into it for the wrong reasons. Uh, for electricity. I mean, we need to be doing. We need to be making more batteries so that we can collect the energy that is coming from the sun and other places, and putting it into the batteries, and then being able to use the runoff rather than letting it go into the ground, going to entropy. Because the sun is just constantly throwing energy at us, and the plants uh, are taking in the solar, and then we got stuff coming from the churning of the insides of the earth, and I mean volcanic activity, and the churning of the waves because of the moon. So there's other places that we can get energy from, and this stuff is all outside of kind of what we have access to. It's the stuff we have access to that tends to be the bigger problem, and that is pulling stuff out of the ground. You know that, and why is that? Why is it that oil is such an issue and coal is such an issue, it's consumerism. In general, it's consumerism. It's somebody with a factory somewhere that's generating stuff in hopes of selling it big and making lots of money. So one individual making lots of money is what's driving consumerism. We don't need it. That's the thing is that once we go further towards automation, we won't need to have factories that do that kind of thing. We're going to be able to do the factories on a much smaller scale. And then that's, the more of the people that you're going to see that are going to be like, you could be in sales, you could be doing this, you could be doing that, you could be this. That stuff's going to go away too. So, because people are going to want to be home with their families, they're going to, it's either going to go one way or it's going to go another. And you can't really tell which way is going to be the future. But what you want to think about is what is the future you want to have, okay, and be focused on that. And so the center of everything is the central thing to, and I'll continue this videos on my other account, my Rock Me Amadeus account. But the important thing is that you want things that keep you from you want a world where less people have control over you, and you have less control over other people, where people are peer-to-peer like the internet, because the internet is peer-to-peer. That's how it works. That is the idea behind the internet that makes the internet what it is the internet protocol. And the internet protocol, how it works is by sending messages from computer to computer to computer to computer to computer. It goes over these satellite backbones and stuff like that, but in the idea of what the computer thinks it's doing is it can't tell the difference between a computer that's just 3 feet from it and a computer that's 3,000 miles from it. It can't tell the difference between those two. And so the internet protocol works over any kind of hardware, and it's the same protocol between computers that are 3 feet from each other as computers that are 3,000 miles from each other. The protocol doesn't really change much. And the reason the internet exists is because of that protocol. Now, if people try to change the way the computers interact, they have to change that protocol. That's the reason why there have been people in court lately about net neutrality, is the concern for how in the world are you going to be able to change the way the internet works without changing the protocol. And so anyhow, the thing is that we need to use this time during COVID to stop complaining about the way the world was before COVID, because every single one of these pandemics changes the way the world was and tries to change it for the better. If it were not the case, there probably wouldn't have been an atomic bomb. There probably wouldn't have been an atomic bomb about the time of World War II. That was a necessary change because nobody wanted war anymore. And they didn't, especially they wanted to set it down that we should stop warring. We should stop warring. Why the fuck are we still doing it? And when the Spanish flu happened, some great art was lost in the process, and that was the Art Nouveau movement. before the Spanish flu. After the Spanish flu, it disappeared pretty much. So you lose stuff, you gain stuff. Things are not going to be the same way after you have a pandemic or a world war. You're going to, any time things change all over the world, it changes in other ways as well. People start to have time to think and have time to rethink the what they need in the world and what they need less of. And the sad thing is, there's a lot of people that are saying they need less of Christianity, but I don't think they understand that in the Bible, the Shabbath and the Sabbath were 2 days that gave us comfort, and we lost access to those because of corporations forcing us to work longer for less. And we would buy stuff for less money that was doing the same thing to people elsewhere in the world. And so when we were buying all these products and we're bemoaning that we were losing all these factories to these other places in the world, sure, because the greedy sons of bitches were going elsewhere. And they were, we had enough money here, but the people over there didn't have enough money. So those people would work for less, and then they would create the products that we would buy here, but we couldn't continue to make enough money to support ourselves because those factories were no longer here. You know, the thing is that what we're going to have to come to realization is that there's not a whole lot we really need, and there's some stuff that we need more than other stuff. And one thing we really don't need is we don't need to have cell phones always on, and we need to be able to separate ourselves from the work we do from the lifestyle we live. And I think since more people taste what it's like to be truly homeless and in poverty, will start to understand what they need and what they don't need. And it will change the way the entire world foresees the future, because we will be more concerned about the things that matter and less concerned about the things that don't matter. So I'm going to switch this podcast thing from here over to another account, to my Rock Me Amadeus account. And so the name over there is really simply just Rock Me Amadeus is the name I gave the account, and I'm going to continue to create videos on it. It's only got one viewer, 180 video right now, but I'm going to put more content over there, and it's really just because I don't want to. This account is what I've got my personal email and everything associated with, because Google locks everything together, and I don't want to use this account for that, for this YouTube stuff. So I'm going to go to the one that's representative of my website, and I'll put my name there if people think that it's going to be me either way. And I've also got another account, and his name is the Singing Bagger, and I didn't decide not to use the Singing Bagger because I no longer work at Kroger, so I'm not a bagger anymore, so it doesn't matter.